Hello, good afternoon everybody, and it's a pleasure for me to be here today and explain you more about the benefits of our product. As introduced me, I'm from Barcelona, and I don't know if you have stayed, but well, if not, I strongly would recommend to visit the city because it's so nice. The schedule for this talk, I divided in first quick introduction to my company to promote us, and then I will introduce to the business product that we found some years ago and with our solution of eKAURI, and then we will go a little bit more in deep about some services of big data and data products. About Barcelona Digital, or bdigital, also known. It's a private foundation which provides research and development solutions for companies, but also for end users by private or public projects like European Commission projects or whatever. Its headquarters is located in Barcelona, as I said, and we are divided in different areas: mobility, security, food, and the health department. I don't know if you know the electronic health field, but well, we could define simply like all the software solutions that use the information technologies on the healthcare system. So I will be in this field. In Barcelona Digital, our expertise in the electronic health department is complemented by hospitals and doctors that give us their professional feedback to give always the best solution for patients, because our objective is always to improve the quality of life in providing this kind of solution. And well, what's eKAURI? Why use eKAURI? Okay, so according to the Ambient Assisted Living Joint Program of Europe, whose objective is to enhance the quality of life of the elderly, they predict the next situation in the next few years. In Europe, we are going to have problems in a few years because the people is getting older with the pass of time. And they predict that by 2020, around the 25% of the European population will be over 65 years. And also, people aged from 65 to 80 will rise by nearly 40% between 2010 and 2030. Also, from 2012, every year, the over 60 population will increase by about 2 million. That is a lot of people. And the median age of the population has increased a lot in the last 20 years. So that means that we have to do something, because the healthcare system, as we know nowadays, it's not scalable. It's not possible to manage this situation as we do nowadays, that it's like a personal care doctor way. We need to introduce the information technologies to the healthcare system. And these solutions, with this solution or this concept, the European Commission has introduced the active aging concept. And what's active aging? Well, about the World Health Organization, the active aging is a process of optimization the quality of life of the elderly by the information technology solutions. And here is where eKAURI appears. What we want to do is to provide a full solution for patients, but also for carers, to improve the quality of life of the patients by providing an e-health and smartphone platform to the users' homes. And in bdigital, in my company, we realized about that problem some years ago. And for these reasons, in 2010, we submit for a proposal in the European Commission to obtain a European project that is called SAFO. SAFO is the acronym for Active Aging and Improve. No, sorry. SAFO. I don't know what is it. It's basically what I said. It's a platform oriented to the users to give us a solution. It was designed following the user-oriented process with more than 200 end users in different countries. And although in bdigital we were so happy with the results of StubHub, we knew perfectly that it was a project. But you can go to the market with a pilot project. So with this experience, we decided to develop a commercial version that's eKAURI. And eKAURI, this way, represents the best of experience of StubHub plus a big amount of new functionalities. These functionalities are basically RESTful API services, which are packaged in different services. We have the services of healthcare services, where users are able to monitor their health measures like blood pressure, weight, or glucose. And also the participation services, where, because, well, we want to offer informatics solutions, but we don't want to leave and miss the interaction patient-care, because we understand that that's the interesting thing for patients. So with the participation services, we have the possibility of interacting with the carer by video conference with web RTC technology. And finally, we have all the security services or smartphone, where we apply the big data algorithms, because it's situated at user's phone, where some ambiental sensors are distributed to obtain ambiental data. And what we do is to warn the user, and in case of emergency, also activate if we detect anomalies. That's an overview of all the services that I commented before. The eKAURI platform is focused in the user's home, where we have a series of Internet of Things devices. We have domotic devices like presence sensors, humidity sensors, temperature sensors. We also have another kind of Internet of Things devices about health services. But then we have another very important role. That is the care role, where they are going to assure the well-being of users. And that's very important because this full solution also for patients and carers, in Spain we didn't find anything similar to that. And as we said before, with the pilot project, we just released a proof of concept. But with a commercial product, we decided to go one step further. And one important piece of this schema, we knew that it was the middleware that we made with StubHub. So we decided to prepare everything, and before adopting a WSO2 solution, we analyzed different methods. We analyzed Oracle, we analyzed Apache Camel, but we finally decided to use WSO2 for the next reasons. Firstly, we were aware about, with the pass of time in code, a lot of changes can appear. So what we want to obtain is a very decoupled schema. And also, we realized that WSO2 offers a 100% open source architecture and OSI architecture. And that has been key to integrate in our systems all the continuous integration and the unit testing and development. With a commercial version, another reason is that we realize that a lot of new functionalities must be developed. So we need something that facilitates to us this kind of stuff. And WSO2 offers a lot of standards and a lot of standards of the state of the art that facilitates a lot this kind of development. Besides, from the point of view of programmer, all the products of WSO2 extends from the carbon base. That's very positive because once you know one product, then it's very easy to develop and it facilitates to go faster. And finally, also we appreciate it because WSO2 has a day update so frequently the modules, and that means that there are a lot of people involved in the product. So from the point of view of programmers, that's always positive. And here we can see one instance of our architecture. To develop, I really encourage you to consult the white papers of WSO2, where they present the good solutions, the patterns that would be great to implement. In our case, before designing the architecture, we read it carefully and we decided to implement a facade pattern. It's a quite known pattern which decouple important operations like authentication or API management by the API manager from another operations like the mediation messages in the enterprise service bus or the authorization permissions that is going to be the identity server. This way, you can decouple important operations in an easy manner. eKAURI, as I said, offers all its services as RESTful APIs, open APIs. And the interesting thing is that these APIs can be consumed by third-party consumers, by patients, by professionals, but also for Internet of Things. So we have a different amount of devices that consume our APIs. As you can see, we have used the OAuth 2 for authentication users and the fine-grained protocol, the XAML, for the authorization permissions. Because in our platform there are different roles. We have carriers, we have users, and it's multi-role based, and we need something else for this management. An identity server is fine-grained and it works so right. And finally, we also use the application server where we have all health APIs deployed. It's important to notice that each service doesn't interact between them directly. They always interact between the enterprise service bus. That's very important because it means that if someday you have any change in one service, don't affect to others. So implementing this schema has been very positive because we have integrated also Jenkins. I don't know if you work with it. And it's very easy because one architecture of that is very complex, and to integrate with agile technologies, it's easier. And well, besides the middleware that I have commented you, we have another kind of devices. We have Raspberry Pis as the Internet of Things, and we also have another kind of sensors that I commented before, that they are always working with the Internet of Things protocol, the S35 protocol, and the Z-Waves communication. And well, we also work with medical devices, but I want to comment the security service because it's more interesting. eKAURI, as I said, is a big amount, is a suite of different APIs, and we have more than 50 APIs. But we would like to comment that with API Manager, it's too easy to manage all the APIs, to control the permissions of different users, and to also manage the documentation all in one product. So we use Swagger for the documentation, which is really working because with the API store you can integrate all in one product. So one of our APIs is security and smart home services, as I commented before. Here, the key idea is that to make possible to arrive to each user, we have developed an efficient but low-cost architecture. For these reasons, we have adopted the Raspberry Pis as collectors, because as you know, it's so cheap, it's about $50, and it works okay for us. And what the Raspberry Pi do in this schema is acts as a collector. In the Raspberry Pi receives all the data sensors from the user's phone, and to the limitation of computational limitation of the Raspberry Pis, what we do is we send back to the cloud. So the Raspberry Pi doesn't do a lot of stuff. It sends back to the cloud. Okay? In the sensors we have smoke sensors, gas leak sensors, pressure sensors, temperature sensors, humidity sensors, and all these sensors produce raw data. And as I said, this raw data itself is anything. What we need is to analyze this data and to give conclusions to the carriers and to the users. So what we do is this kind of schema. As you probably will imagine, when you have thousands of houses, and in each house can be 5-6 sensors, it's a lot of data to analyze. So we have developed big data strategies like Hadoop, and what we do is that depending on the data that we want to analyze, there are some batch jobs scheduled for the night, which are calculating data as the number of sleeping hours per week of one user, or number of hours that is outside the home. This kind of data can be calculated as batch jobs. But there are other data, like emergency data, that it's automatically, when we receive from one sensor, we activate immediately. And well, with these Hadoop jobs, nowadays we are able to calculate exactly how long is the user in each room. In a first step, we can know the activity and inactivity times, but one step further, then, as we have different presence sensors, we can know perfectly the time that is being the user in each room. And not now, but in the future, we think that we will be able to analyze patterns of the user. For example, if the user goes 10 times per day to the kitchen or to the bathroom, it could be that this person is becoming, or we can detect an earlier Alzheimer, because maybe he's forgetting the meals and is going to the kitchen a lot of times. And we think we will be able in the future, but not yet. And well, I would like also to show you a little bit about the user interface that we have developed. It has two important modules. The one important module, as I commented, is the user one, that with the StubHub experience, we noticed that for elderly people, it's easier to interact by tablets. So we develop a native Android app. And then the other big module is for caterers. In caterers, we think that nowadays professionals don't work in the same place every day, so we thought that the best solution was a web-based solution. So some screenshots is the user interface where they can access fastly to the services by the dashboard activity page, and they can monitor their health measures, and also they can interact with their relatives, friends, or also caterers by webinar PC, by teleconference. And then from the other point of view is the professional model. That's very interesting because in Spain we didn't find before a full solution also for caterers, and what we have developed is that caterers are able also to check the well-being of users. They are able to monitor if users have a well comportment, like the weight is regular or they go out frequently, and also obviously they can schedule video conference with their patients, and in case of emergency they will be the first people to receive the notifications of fire, gas, or whatever. They also have a calendar shared with the user where they can book and schedule a video conference, because I think that for patients it's important to know, okay, next Wednesday I'm going to have a short video conference with my care. It makes a point more personalized to our product, and we really like it. And then also the caterer can send personal questions, for example, to check if this data we are receiving this data in a correct manner. For example, we are looking that this week you haven't go out too much. What happens? Are you depressed? Are you sad? What happens? And well, also we can easily check if the sensors deployed over the user's phone are working okay, they have battery, and now our situation is that as I explained you, this platform is so big, there are a lot of services, and it's so difficult to get a commercial solution fast. So we decided to do a first minimal product version, which is based in the security and smartphone services that I explained. We have developed a minimal product version of that, and well, we are quite happy because we planned it for January of this year, but with this kind of solution we have advanced a little bit, and we are just now launching the solution. And for this future, what we expect is because we haven't tested a lot the scalability things, so we want to do is a first deployment of between 100 or more or less homes, and from this number, then we decide to if you amplify to the number of instances of the ESP, the application servers, and the idea is to go up horizontally with the pass of time. And finally, we also are open for the business, because eKAURI, what brings is the solution to the technological way, but then we can speak with commercial partners, because we want to always be in the technological phase, not pass from to the commercial one. So if you want to to collaborate with us, contact to the end and we will speak. And well, if you have questions, thank you so much. Yeah?
Good question. I assume there are some difficulties with implementing the WSO2 product as with anything that large. Is there anything in particular that was more difficult than was expected? What sort of advice did you give to a company that's trying to go through a similar migration?
Well, I think to recognize that the first steps to WSO2 were difficult, but because we tried to do it by ourselves. And when you do it, you can advance, but the best is to have the development support. Because as programmer, you can waste some days with one error that one professional can solve it so fast. But if I would like to say something, maybe the most difficult one was the part of the permissions one of the identity server, because the fine-grained policies are so difficult and our schema is so rich in multi-roles, and to manage all this kind of stuff is so difficult.
Did you consider to use the event processor for the sensor or things like that? Or?
Yeah, we are going to think about that because I find it very interesting and it could be nice. But for the moment, we haven't integrated it.
I noticed when you had your WSO2 map up that you were using ActiveMQ for messaging instead of the message broker. Is there a reason for that, or was it just not?
Yes, it's an important reason. Imagine that the server falls down, and then if you don't persist your message in a queue, then you are not able to restore the message that you were in the queue. So for this reason, we store all the messages in the database in ActiveMQ. And also in your case, it's important because we have different priorities in different queues. For example, if you have a message of an emergency of fire, will be a higher priority than a message to a video conference. For this reason, we have implemented that. Yeah? Okay, so thank you everyone.